This is a follow-up to the blog about autumn beekeeping. What I'm going to do today is to give the bees their autumn Varroa treatment, and you can't do that until all the honey supers are off, because the chemical in the treatment makes the honey smell a bit strange. Bees don't care, but it does make it a bit smelly. So you wait till all the honey's off before you put this stuff on. Now the hives are all pretty much the same. This here is the super that had the honey extracted from it, and I've put it back on so they can take the honey off. And down here, I'll just ease this out very slightly, or maybe I won't get stuck. But this thing here is an entrance excluder. So the entrance has gone from being that wide down to being that wide, which makes it easier to defend the hive in case of wasps. And if wasps get really silly, there's a very narrow little entrance there, and you rotate it, so they actually only have to defend that part. So I'll just turn the camera off briefly while I set things up, and then we can have a look and see how this is done. So the roof's off, super is here, and there's bees on them, but they're pretty much dry. That's the one in the middle, which normally has most bees on, and if you can hear, it's completely dry. So there's nothing in there anymore for them to make any use of. So I'll take that off and let them find their way back into the hive. So, oops, off it comes, very light, and there we go. Underneath is the crown board, and a bit of a cuff just to keep them a bit quieter. Down there. Now, what I've got to do is take that crown board off, and underneath it there goes lots of lovely bees. So let's leave that there for a minute. See this thing around the outside? This is just a little wooden thing that I make, and the idea of them is that it's called an eek. You put it on top of the hive, and then you put this stuff in it. Let's see, where are we? Yep, this stuff called Apigard, and this is what we give to the bees to try and keep the Varroa under control. It's just a little tray of stuff, like those stupidly expensive Caesar cat food things, and inside is a white, rather crystalline stuff, and all I do is put that in the middle there somewhere. Oh, wait. Away. Thank you. Put that in there. Put the crown board back on. Back on. Job done. So that's it. The thing about this Apigard stuff is that you're supposed to put it on when it's fairly warm. 15 degrees, I think, I can't remember, so that it evaporates around the hive. The bees walk through it and carry it around the hive, spread it around the hive, and it reduces the Varroa mites. What I need to do is leave this in here for 2 weeks, come back and put another one on and leave it for 2 weeks. So it takes a month for that treatment to be done. The next thing I'll do here, I'm not sure when, soonish, is to start thinking about the autumn feed. So that will be the subject of a different blog. One thing while I'm here is that what I want to try and do this winter is monitor the build-up of the stores. Oops, he says it's going down. It's not going down low enough. So there's various ways you can do this. It is a process called hefting, where you're supposed to lift the hive and gauge whether or not the hive is heavier than it was last time. Quite how you're supposed to do that is beyond me. So what I did was I bought this thing here. Now the first thing I did, and if I just try and get the camera down a bit lower, let's see, perhaps. Oops, sorry about this. See those little wooden shims that are down there? And there's one at either end. So it does lift the hive up very slightly. And then what you do with this thing is you slide it in. Again, I can't see if you're out there. Yeah. You slide it under the hive, just move it very slightly, and it weighs the hive. So it's a very quick, very easy job to do. And now the camera's a bit steadier. You can see the wooden shims there and there. And you put this in the gap underneath, lift it very slightly, and it reads out on there rather, what the weight of the thing is. So I'll be doing this regularly from now on in. Okay, so that's it for the time being. Today we're at school end. I'm at school end, and I'm going to be putting on the Varroa treatment on the hives up here. Just in case people haven't seen it before, this is what school end looks like. There's a whole load of hives going off into the distance. There's 8 live ones here, and there's two down the end there which are empty. Maybe next year. Anyway, coming back to the hive, usual sort of thing. There was a super on top of here that I'd left on for them to clean out the last of the honey, which they have done, and it's very dry, and it's over there. I'm going to take it home with me in a minute. Now, what's going to be treated, what they're going to get today is this stuff, Apistan. You only apply this once. Leave it on for 6 to 8 weeks, and what it consists of is a packet of these sort of gelatine plasticky type strips, and the medication is actually impregnated in there. And it's difficult to see these things perhaps, but it's got a couple of wings, so the idea is you drop it down between some of the frames, and the bees do what they need to do. So, off comes the crown board. Nice day today, the bees are very calm and relaxed, and blimey, look at that. There's a few bees there, isn't there? Okay, so, and the eek obviously is here. And they're just beginning to come up a little bit, so I'll just give them a little puff just to keep them happy and quiet. So the easiest way of doing this will be to take one of the frames out and edge them over. So take the eek off first, gives his goo down, and they're going to go there and there. So if I take this one out, excuse me, you'll thank me for this. Oh. Out it comes. So I'll just leave that here. Edge this across slightly, you go. That's right. And I'll just ease this one apart very slightly. Get another one of these things. This stuff is supposed to be quite unpleasant, and it does recommend you wear gloves when you handle it. So that one will go in there. Excuse me. Thank you. Now I need to make this a bit wider. The frames are very gunged up with propolis. So that's still not working. And there it goes, that's in. Just push the frames back together again. And this side as well. Very calm today. There goes the frame. Close it all up. Although this has got an eco in it, I've just realised actually I don't need it. All the heat does is just give me a little bit of space to put those trays of Apigard on, which obviously isn't necessary for this, so not bother. But look at those bees, calm as anything. There's not a single bee on me anywhere, and they're just doing their bee thing. So it's a good sign that they're all very healthy and fit. So I'll put this back on. Try not to, excuse me, squash any of them. And you lot. You and you lot. Right, quick, and we go. Okay, so back on. That'll be in there, I think I said in the blog, for 6 weeks, no more than 8. So I'll just leave them alone now. There's not much for me to do with them at the moment. The next thing, I think, again, as I said in the blog, will be to give them start their autumn feed. So, 1 down, 7 to go.